There are many projects that seem almost impossible. A bridge as long as the sea, a dam as big as a mountain, and trains almost as fast as airplanes. All of these not only showcase engineering excellence, but will truly change the course of our world. But how much funding is really needed for this? And in this video, we will go through the biggest engineering projects in the world, one by one. But before that, please like and subscribe. That means a lot to us content creators. Thank you very much. And now, let's get started. Number 15, Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. In Ethiopia, this massive project symbolizes their dream of prosperity. This is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam on the Blue Nile River. Construction began in 2011, and since then, it has become one of the largest projects in all of Africa. Its goal is to generate electricity using water to help speed up the development of their country. When finished, this dam will generate over 6,000 megawatts of electricity. This is enough to double Ethiopia's current electricity supply and make them the main energy supplier in East Africa. The dam is over 1,800 meters long and 145 meters high. Because of its size, it can create a reservoir that can hold 74 billion cubic meters of water, one of the largest artificial reservoirs in all of Africa. The funds used to build the dam did not come from loans from other countries. The funds came from the Ethiopian people and government themselves. For them, this is not just a project, but also a symbol of unity and confidence in their own abilities. Not everyone supports this. Egypt and Sudan, who both rely on the Nile River for their water, are concerned that the flow to them might decrease, especially during times of drought. Because of this, questions arose about the need for an agreement, but until now, there is still no clear resolution. Despite this, the dam is gradually becoming operational, with some turbines already generating electricity, and more will do so once it is fully completed. It is expected that 13 turbines will run simultaneously to provide more energy, and the 14th will add even more. Fehmarn Belt Fixed Link under the Baltic Sea, a massive tunnel, is currently being constructed, which will be called the Fehmarn Belt Fixed Link. Its goal is to connect the island of Lolland in Denmark and the island of Fehmarn in Germany. Once completed, it will be the longest immersed tunnel in the world. The tunnel will be about 18 kilometers long. It has a road for vehicles and tracks for trains. Because of this, people's travel will be faster and transporting products will be easier. Once completed, the trip from Copenhagen to Hamburg will be reduced from almost 5 hours to less than 3 hours. For vehicles, the previous travel time will be reduced by almost an hour. Meanwhile, construction began in 2021 after a long period of planning and discussions between the two countries. The cost for this is estimated to reach more than 7.4 billion euros. The tunnel is being constructed using what is called the immersed tube method. In this method, they make large concrete sections on land. These will be floated out to sea, submerged into a dug trench, then joined and sealed together to form a single structure. In addition, the design consists of 2 tubes for the road, 2 rails for the train, and a service passage. With this plan, both passengers and cargo can be transported quickly and directly. This is also important because the trip will no longer be affected by storms or bad weather. This project is part of Europe's plan to further strengthen the connection between countries. Scandinavia will be closer to mainland Europe and trade and travel will be faster. 13th, Central Wan Chai Bypass. Traffic congestion has long been a problem in Hong Kong, especially in the northern part of the island. That's why the Central Wan Chai Bypass was built, a major project that provided great relief to motorists. The bypass is an expressway that is over 4 kilometers long. Most of it is underground and it has a tunnel that is almost 3 kilometers long. This road has 6 lanes that can be used simultaneously. Thousands of vehicles can pass through every hour. Before the bypass was built, it took 30 minutes to travel from Central to the eastern part of the island during the rush hour. Now, because of the new road, it has dropped to just 5 minutes. This is a big help for previously congested roads like Harcourt Road and Gloucester Road, which are known for causing heavy traffic. The project took a long process. It was first proposed in the 1980s, but because of lengthy planning and many obstacles, construction only started in 2009. After several years of work, it was opened to motorists in January 2019. The bypass doesn't just bring faster travel. Because of this, the air is cleaner and it's safer for those passing through. Aside from that, it also helps reduce almost 11,000 tons of carbon dioxide every year. That's like planting 100,000 trees. 12th, California High-Speed Rail. The California High-Speed Rail is one of the biggest transportation projects in all of America today. Its plan is to connect major cities in California like San Francisco and Los Angeles. It also plans to expand to Sacramento and San Diego. The trains here are expected to run up to 220 miles per hour, which is faster than traveling by car or airplane within the state. In connection with this, in the year 2008, people voted to approve the proposal that would start funding for the project. After that, the California High-Speed Rail Authority was formed to oversee the construction. The actual construction began in 2015 in the Central Valley. The first section is 171 miles from Merced to Bakersfield. This section was chosen because the land is flat and it's easier to build the tracks compared to other areas. The project was divided into different sections so that the bridges, viaducts, and roads that the train will pass through can be built simultaneously. But not everything was easy. The costs increased significantly due to inflation, problems with land acquisition, and the complicated design of the structure. Initially, the project was estimated to cost just $33 billion. Now it has reached over $100 billion. The funding for this comes from a combination of state bonds, federal grants, and a portion of the revenue from California's carbon program. But it also faces many legal issues and intense political debates because of the high costs and the length of construction. Number 11, Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link. The Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link is one of the largest bridge projects in all of India. Its goal is to connect the city of Mumbai and Navi Mumbai, which is on the other side of Thane Creek. This bridge is over 22 kilometers long. That's why this will be the longest sea bridge in the entire country. It has 6 lanes, so the flow of vehicles going to and from will be much faster. This was discussed for a long time before construction began. The project was conceived in the 1960s, but it did not push through immediately due to lack of funds and other obstacles. Many years passed. It was only in 2018 when the major construction finally began. This bridge will have a big impact on travelers. The previous 2-hour trip from South Mumbai to Navi Mumbai will now only take 20 to 30 minutes. Because of this, travel will be easier and people will feel less tired. Aside from this, the bridge is also important because it will provide a direct connection to the new airport being built in Navi Mumbai, and this will help make travel easier for passengers and businesses. Modern methods were used in building the bridge to ensure that it will last in the sea. The parts were assembled on land and at sea and connected to the main highways at both ends. But nature was not forgotten either. The route of the bridge was adjusted so as not to damage the habitats of birds like flamingos and migratory birds. 10th, Gordie Howe International Bridge. Between Detroit in Michigan and Windsor in Ontario, there is a major project gradually taking shape. This is the Gordie Howe International Bridge, a bridge that will cross over the Detroit River. It was named for a famous Canadian hockey player. But more than just a name, this bridge is a symbol of the stronger connection between Canada and the United States. Construction started in 2018. It is managed by the Government of Canada and built in partnership with several private groups. It's not just a bridge because it also includes border facilities and new roads that will connect to Ontario Highway 401 and Michigan Interstate 75. This project is important because almost 25% of trade between Canada and the United States passes through this route. Every year, a huge amount of products enter and leave through here. The old and narrow Ambassador Bridge, which was built back in 1929, is no longer sufficient, so a newer and wider road is needed. The design of the bridge is cable-stayed, with two giant pylons built that are over 220 meters tall. The main span is 853 meters, and the total length is over 2.5 kilometers. Once completed, this will be one of the longest cable-stayed bridges in the entire Western Hemisphere. The bridge also has 6 lanes for vehicles. There is also a free space for pedestrians and cyclists. 9th, Sydney Metro. The Sydney Metro is the largest and most important public transportation project in all of Australia. It is also the country's first rapid transit system that can operate without a driver. Once fully completed, it will have 4 lines with 46 stations and more than 113 kilometers of tracks. Its goal is to shorten travel time, reduce overcrowding on current trains, and help accommodate the rapid population growth in the city. In May of 2019, the first phase of the project, called Metro Northwest, was open. This section runs from Rousey Hill to Chatswood and has 13 stations. Here you can also find the longest train tunnel in Australia, which is over 15 kilometers long. This marked the beginning of a major transformation in Sydney's transportation. After this, the Sydney Metro City and Southwest is now being constructed. It extends the line from Chatswood, passing under Sydney Harbour and through the city centre, reaching all the way to Bankstown in the southwest. This includes the construction of 2 tunnels over 15 kilometers long, which is one of the most challenging tasks in the history of construction in the country. It also includes the construction of new ones. These are stations like Barangaroo, Pitt Street, and Waterloo, which are designed for easy connection to other types of transportation. Number 8, Hinkley Point C Nuclear Power Station. In the western part of England, next to the Somerset coast, there is a massive project currently underway. This is the Hinkley Point C Nuclear Power Station. This is a modern plant being built after more than 2 decades without any new nuclear power plants in the United Kingdom. This project has 2 European pressurized reactors. Once finished, it will generate 3,200 megawatts of electricity. This is enough to supply electricity to 6 million homes, or almost 30% of the country's total demand. In addition, the plant will greatly help reduce smoke and pollution coming from other types of energy sources. This is also an important step towards achieving net zero emissions by the year 2050. Meanwhile, this has been planned and studied for a long time, before construction finally began in 2016. The area is large and the construction complex, especially because a large water system from the Bristol Channel is needed to cool the plant. Because of this, they carried out some of the largest tunneling works in that area. However, not everything was easy. The initial plan was only supposed to last until the year 1890. Just mini bolt. Here is one like that, which was sent by Hidayah for that style. That's why it was chosen. 7th, Jakarta-Bandung High-Speed Railway. One of Indonesia's biggest projects is building the first high-speed train in all of Southeast Asia. It's called Whoosh. This train connects the capital, Jakarta, and the city of Bandung in West Java. If it used to take 3 hours by car, now it only takes about 40 minutes. It began in 2016. This is the result of the cooperation between the Indonesian government and some partners from China. They used modern trains that can run up to 350 kilometers per hour. Because of the high and rugged terrain of West Java, They had to build 13 tunnels and several elevated tracks to avoid disrupting the route. They also found a way to make the train safer in case of an earthquake. One of the biggest challenges was acquiring land because many people lived in the area where the line would pass through. This caused many delays and additional expenses, along with the effects of the pandemic. Meanwhile, at first, the estimated cost was only about $5.5 billion. But as time went on, it reached over $7 billion. This led many to question if such a huge project was truly worth it. But according to its supporters, it will provide even greater benefits to the economy and to people's daily lives. And in the middle of 2023, the trial runs of the train began, and after a year, it was finally open to the public. Number 6, Istanbul Canal. The Istanbul Canal is one of the biggest projects planned by Turkey. This is a planned canal that will be built to connect the Black Sea and the Sea of Marmara. It is often called the Second Bosphorus because its purpose is to serve as an additional passageway for ships. The canal is planned to be about 45 kilometers long, 275 meters wide, and 21 meters deep. Its route is on the European side of Istanbul, starting near Duruso on the coast of the Black Sea, and ending at the Sea of Marmara. The project was first announced in 2011 as part of what is called Vision 2023. The main goal is to reduce traffic in the Bosphorus Strait, provide a safer route for ships carrying hazardous materials, and generate additional income from transit fees. In addition, it is also expected to provide thousands of jobs during construction and help boost economic growth. In connection with this, in the year 2021, some preparations began, such as the construction of roads, but there was no significant follow-up right away. The excavation was delayed due to funding problems. According to estimates, the total cost will reach more than 15 billion United States dollars. It is expected to come from a combination of public funds and assistance from foreign partners. 5th, Crossrail Elizabeth Line. The Elizabeth Line, formerly known as the Crossrail Project, is one of the largest and most important train projects in all of Europe. Its goal is to make travel faster and more convenient for people in London and nearby areas. The entire line stretches to a length of 118 kilometers. It starts at Reading and Heathrow in the west. It passes under central London and goes all the way to Shenfield and Abbeywood in the east. In total, the new tunnels built under the city are about 42 kilometers long, making this one of the largest tunneling projects completed in the United Kingdom. The project was approved in 2007 and construction began in 2009. One of the most difficult parts was building new underground stations in cramped areas like Tottenham Court Road, Farringdon, and Canary Wharf. Careful planning was needed to avoid affecting the buildings and structures around the area. It began gradually opening in May 2022. During that month, people reflected on the events happening around the neighborhood. Keep going, Tobago. Does that look good in the photo? 4th, Neom. In the northwest of Saudi Arabia, near the Red Sea, there's a massive project called Neom. It's a megacity worth almost 500 billion United States dollars. It's part of the country's Vision 2030 plan, so they won't just rely on oil. The area covers 26,000 square kilometers, almost as big as Albania. The line is Neom's most popular area. It is a long city that stretches 170 kilometers and is designed to house up to 9 million people. Its concept is simple. Everything people need is close by and can be reached within a 5-minute walk. No cars, no traditional roads, and everything will run on renewable energy and artificial intelligence. There's also Oxagon, an industrial city floating on the sea. Its goal is to become the center of clean and modern manufacturing. Aside from factories, there will also be residences, schools, health centers, and shops here. It's like an entire community that's separate but self-sustained. In the mountains, you'll find Trojena. Here, a unique ski resort will be built in the middle of the desert. There will be winter sports, hiking, wellness facilities, and other outdoor activities. It aims to attract 70,000 visitors every year and provide housing for 7,000 people before the year 2030. Third, China's high-speed rail expansion. China now has the largest high-speed rail system in the world. By the year 2025, their lines have reached more than 42,000 kilometers in length. This means they hold more than 2/3 of the total high-speed rail network in the world. But they won't stop there. The government plans to expand it to 50,000 kilometers before the year 2035. This didn't exist in the early 2000s. Because of the rapid growth of the economy in cities, the old trains could no longer handle the number of passengers. So in 2008, the first modern high-speed line connecting Beijing and Tianjin was opened. Since then, the construction of more lines has continued nonstop. The plan includes what's called the 8 vertical and 8 horizontal layout. This means there are 8 north-south and 8 east-west lines forming a large grid. Because of this, almost all major cities with populations over 500,000 will be connected by high-speed rail. But a project like this isn't easy to accomplish. Almost 80% of the entire line was built as elevated tracks or tunnels. This was done to keep the travel fast even when passing through mountains, farmlands, and crowded areas. The trains called the Fuxing series are made in China itself. They can run at speeds of up to 350 kilometers per hour. Second, Dubai Creek Tower. It's among the largest projects ever planned in Dubai's history. The plan is for it to surpass the Burj Khalifa and give the city a new look. It's in Dubai Creek Harbor, close to historic Dubai Creek. The project was first introduced in 2016 by MR Properties, and since then it has become a symbol of Dubai's great ambition to always rise in the field of modern architecture. Renowned architect Santiago Calatrava designed the tower. It was inspired by the form of a lily flower. At the center is a tall and slender spire that will be supported by large cables anchored to the ground. The design seems to blend modern technology with the traditions of the region's culture. In addition, the tower is planned to have various viewing decks where you can see the entirety of Dubai, the Arabian Gulf, and the vast desert. The most important of these is the so-called Pinnacle Room, a circular area with a glass floor and a rotating view. It also has restaurants and event spaces, but the main purpose of the building is to be a symbol of the city and not to serve as an office. However, this project also faces major engineering challenges. The foundation was built using very deep piles, some of the longest ever made, to ensure stability even under the sand. The foundation uses a state-of-the-art steel cable system to remain stable against earthquakes and strong winds. According to estimates, its cost will reach several $billion, similar to other massive projects in the world. First, Brenner Base Tunnel. One of the biggest projects in Europe today is the Brenner Base Tunnel. When completed, it will be the longest underground railway tunnel in the world. It will stretch for almost 64 kilometers under the Eastern Alps. The tunnel will connect Innsbruck in Austria and Fortezza in Italy. It will also be an important part of the Scandinavian Mediterranean corridor, which serves as a main route across the continent. For a long time, the Brenner Pass has been the route for people and trade from Central Europe to Southern Europe. Today, millions of cars and trucks pass through here every year. Because of this, there is heavy traffic and a lot of pollution. The old railway, built back in the 19th century, has elevated sections and sharp curves. Because of this, the train is slow and can't keep up with road transportation. The Brenner Base Tunnel is the answer to this problem. With a new route under the mountain, the path is almost level, making it faster and more efficient. The trip from Innsbruck to Fortessa, which used to take almost 80 minutes, will now only take 25 minutes.